Hey everybody, today I'm gonna show you how a motherboard works and how to mount a computer system. So first of all, here we have a motherboard, a video card, a PCI card. This is an old 56K modem. Here we have a processor, a RAM, and hard disk, and the power supply unit. So first of all, I'm gonna show you how a motherboard works. To do this, I just printed the specifications of this motherboard. So let's see. First of all, as you can see, here it says CPU Intel socket 775. What does this mean? This is the socket. The socket is the component of the motherboard where you put the processor. So it is very important that when you buy a new processor, you have to check if the socket is the same that you have on a motherboard. Otherwise, it won't fit, so you won't be able to use it. Then we have the chipset. But before I can explain what is a chipset, I have to tell you what is the bus. The bus is composed by all these wires that you can see here. These wires are used to connect the RAM slot, the processor, the video card, the PCI slots, and all the rest together. So how do they work? They need a chipset. The chipset is formed by the north bridge and the south bridge. And so the north bridge controls the CPU and the RAM, while the south bridge controls the video card, the PCI slots, the hard drives, CD drives, and so on. They manage the bus. They tell how the bus has to work. So this isn't the north bridge. This is an heatsink. The north bridge is underneath this. The heatsink is used to sink the heat of the chipset. As you can see, if I put this off, here is the north bridge, and underneath this there's the south bridge. Okay. Then we have the front side bus speed. Then we have the memory. We can see 2 slots of DIMM, maximum 2 GB of DDR 400 333. What does this mean? Okay, we have 2 slots of RAM, of DDR RAM, which is a standard of RAM, and here we can read DDR 400 333. This is the frequency of the RAM, and it's saying to us that this motherboard supports these 2 frequencies for the RAM. So another higher frequencies won't be supported. That's all. And then we have the expansion slots. We have a PCI Express 416 slots, which is this one. This is used to connect an external video card. Then we have 3 PCI slots, which are these ones, and are used to connect external cards that are used for TV tuners, modems, firewire cards, and any other kind of external card. And last we have one PCI Express for 1 slot, which is this smaller one. It is the same of PCI, but this is faster, and it's supposed to be the substitute of the PCI slots. Then we see the south bridge, which I told you is this one, but actually we don't care about this. We can go on. As you can see, here we have the overclocking features. You just need to know what is overclocking. Overclocking is is a function to raise the standard clock of a component. For instance, if we have a CPU that runs at the speed of 3 GHz, we can make it work faster, raising the frequency. But we won't explain how to do this in this tutorial. Okay, here we have the BIOS. The BIOS is the basic input of output system, and is placed here. The BIOS is the first software that runs when you turn on a computer, and it has to verify all the peripherals that are connected on the motherboard. As you can see, we have a 4 MB flash ROM. The flash ROM is this one, and this is an AMI BIOS. This is the manufacturer of the BIOS. Okay, then we have the back panel input-output ports, which are these ones. We have a parallel port, this one, that is used to connect the older printers. The newest ones use the USB. Then we have one PS2 keyboard port and a PS2 mouse port. The keyboard port is the violet one, the mouse port is the green one. As for the parallel ports, they have been substituted by the USB ports. Then we have a serial port, which is this one. Actually, this is not very useful. It was used in the 90s to connect the older mouses or modems, but today it's only used to connect, I don't know, barcode scanners, for instance. So it is not very useful for a normal user. Then we have a LAN port, which is this one, and this is the port that you use to connect to the internet or to connect to a network. 4 USB 2.0 ports, which are these ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6-channel audio input-output, which are these 3 ones. They are 6 channels because every jack can handle 2 channels. Okay, then we have internal input-output connectors. That are the ones that are on the main board. We have 2 USB connectors to have the 4 additional USB ports, and the front panel audio connector. Okay, they are these ones. Here we have 2 USB connectors and an audio connector. What are these used for if we have this here? They are used to have the front panel USB and the front panel audio ports. They are connected on the motherboard, obviously. So, then we have 4 serial ADA connectors. Serial ADA connectors are this one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 connectors. These are used to connect hard disks or CD-ROM drives. Then we have one 4-pin ATX power connector, this one, and this has to be connected with a power supply and is needed to power the CPU and goes here. Then we have a 24-pin ATX power connector with this one, and we put it here to power the mainboard. Okay, then we have the system panel connector. This is the panel where you put the power button, reset button, the power LED, and so on. They all go here. They're the one that you see in front of the case. And that's all. In the next video I will show you how to mount all these components on the motherboard. See ya!